midterm election is this Tuesday, and several seats are up for election.
Alabama voters will vote for governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, Alabama chief justice, and secretary of state, among others.
The most watched race on the ballot is for governor. Incumbent Republican Governor Kay Ivey is running for her first full term after taking over for former Governor Robert Bentley. Tuscaloosa Mayor Walt Maddox is the Democratic candidate. Eagle Eye spoke with both about their campaigns.
Well, certainly most governors have 3 months to transition. I had 3 hours. But I was prepared as lieutenant governor, having been in that office for 6 years. And so I knew a lot about the issues. And one of the biggest things I needed to do was reestablish a working relationship with the members of the legislature with the executive branch. That had gone lacking for quite some time. So I certainly did that at the outset. And I focused on being effective and efficient and stabilizing the ship of state, if you will. And we interviewed all of our cabinet officers and made some adjustments there. Then I conducted a listen, learn, help, and lead tour around the state and listened to our people.
And taking the approach that this is about results and not about ideology, I think is needed in Montgomery, because over the last 7 years, Alabama has continued to fall in every major category of life. And then we look at the corruption that has taken place with governor, Speaker of the House, House Majority Leader, and Supreme Court Justice all leaving either under indictment or a cloud of shame. Alabama deserves better than that, and I think we need a mayor who understands how to make everything work and do it in an honest and ethical fashion.
Lee County residents will also be voting for their next U.S. representative in a hotly contested race between incumbent Republican Mike Rogers and Democrat former Miss America Mallory Hagan. Both candidates spoke with Eagle Eye ahead of Tuesday's election.
We're going in the right direction economically, militarily, and otherwise. Don't mess up a good thing. And then the second part of that is just look at what the Democrats are saying they would do if they take power. Nancy Pelosi has already made it clear that if she takes power, they're going to spend time trying to impeach the president. They want to defund ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is basically the federal police whose job it is to find people who are here illegally and remove them from the country, like MS-13 and other bad elements. And they want government-controlled health care. They want to have, they're now calling it Medicare for all, just take everybody and put them in the Medicare system.
I was asked to consider running, and my initial response was absolutely not, that's crazy. But the more I started looking at where our political climate is right now and how many people truly represent me in Congress, I started to reconsider that concept, and then I did a little bit of research and started talking with some people here in the Lee County Democratic Party. And we had a couple of meetings, and I started to really consider what this would look like for me and for my family, and how this could potentially change my career path. And it's something that I had always considered in the future. I always thought that I would run for office later down the road in life. And you know, I started looking at where we are today in our country, and I feel like we're at a bit of a turning point, and I wanted to be a part of that conversation in this turning point in history.
Voters will also choose between Republican incumbent John Merrill and Democratic candidate Heather Malum for Secretary of State.
Now, I'm the 53rd Secretary of State, but the Code and the Constitution give more than 1,000 assigned duties and responsibilities to the person that holds this role. Those include, but are not limited to, the things we've concentrated on the most since I've been in office and the things that we focused on when I was campaigning, which are election administration, which includes voter registration, campaign finance reform, campaign finance review, all the things related to the election system. Then business and corporations, licensing, trademarking like you described earlier. And last but not least, international adoptions. And we concentrated on those 3 areas because those are the 3 areas our office deals with that most directly impact the lives of Alabamians on a daily basis.
Also, being a lifelong Alabamian, I care deeply about my state. In fact, I jokingly sometimes say I'm madly in love with this state, but I truly am, and I want her to be the best she can be. And you know, I always thought that I might go into some type of public service, and certainly November of 2016, I think, expedited a lot of individuals' desires, especially women, to seek a public office, because we thought, you know what, it's time for the government to work for the people. And I thought, well, if not now, then when? And if not me, then who?
House Seat 79 is up for re-election. The House seat represents the Auburn area. Incumbent Joe Laverne won the seat in a 2016 special election following the conviction of former Representative Mike Hubbard. Democratic nominee is Mary Wynn King.
I've tried to focus on healing with our district because our district went from the #1 position in the House of Representatives to the 105th position overnight. And so I've been trying to build bridges down there and try to regain some of the clout, if you will, to make sure that our district is remembered and taken care of when it comes to budget time, to policy procedures. And I tell people over there, my job is to worry about the future. The legal system is taking care of the past, and I've just focused on the future with all my conversations and within any legislation I've dealt with.
I'm running because I want to represent the people of District 79. All of my contributions have come from individuals. I've taken no PAC money, no business money, and that is really important to me in this race because too many people in this district feel like their voice isn't being represented, and I'm here to represent those voices.
Voters will also decide on several amendments. Amendment 1 would allow the display of the 10 Commandments on state or public school property. This comes more than 15 years after former Alabama Supreme Court Chief Justice Roy Moore was removed from office for refusing to remove a monument of the Commandments from a state judicial building.
Amendment 2 would make protecting the rights of the unborn as the official public policy of the state. The amendment would move to eliminate public funding in the state. The right to abortion is still protected by the U.S. Supreme Court under Roe v. Wade.
Be sure to tune in to Eagle Eye TV this Tuesday night for our Eye on the Midterms election show for all the latest details on these races. And be sure to check our website, eagleeyeauburn.com.